वरधारी यशोदानन्दन व्रजजनरञ्जन यशोदानन्दन व्रजजनरञ्जन यमुनातीरा वनचारी यमुनातीरा वनचारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय राधा गोविंद राधा गोविंद राधे जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेवा जय सुभद्रा जय गौरानीताय जय गौरानीताय निताय गौर हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद
Even in seventh chapter, which was, remember?
Eighth verse, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam Mataji. 2.7.8.
2.7.8.
8.
Tomorrow is Varaha Dwadashi, right? The first incarnation is Varaha. Yes, even tomorrow is Varaha Dwadashi. Okay, now let us see the 8th one. Vidha sapatnyudita patribheranti ragyo balopi san nupagatas tapase vanani tasma adad ध्रुवगतिं गृह्णते प्रसन्नो दिव्यः स्तुवन्ति मुनयो यदुपरि यदस्तात्. So Dhruv Maharaj, about Dhruv Maharaj has been spoken that how he was insulted by the sharp words of his stepmother or the co-wife of Sapatni, the co-wife of the king Uttarapada. So how he was insulted. Then he took to severe penance. He went to Vanani, that means he went to a great forest and to do tapasya there. And Lord was very satisfied. And then Lord appeared before him. This is scheduled incarnation again. Lord appeared before him. And he abided through planet, through Agatim, Prasanna Divyaha, in this way. Through Maharaj worshipped him and the Lord was very happy with him. Prasanna means very satisfied. And in this way, Stuvanti Muneha Upari Adhasti. Lord is worshipped by the great sages, upper planetary system, lower planetary system, everyone worships Lord. So in this incarnation, Lord has appeared before Dhruv Maharaj, that has been given. Okay, Krishna Priya, read.
Hare Krishna Dandavat Pranam Mataji. 7th chapter, text 8. Vidvapsapanyojitapattribhirantirajño balopi sannopaghatastapasevanaनि tasma adhadhad druvagatim grunate prasanno divyaः स्तुतवन्ति munayo yad paryadasthat. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Being insulted by sharp words spoken by the co-wife of the king, even in his presence, Prince Dhruva, though only a boy, took to severe penance in the forest. And the Lord, being satisfied by his prayer, awarded him the Dhruva planet, which is worshipped by great sages, both upward and downward. Purport. When he was only 5 years old, Prince Dhruva, a great devotee and the son of Maharaja Uttanapada, was sitting on the lap of his father. His stepmother did not like the king's patting her stepson, so she dragged him out, saying that he could not claim to sit on the lap of the king because he was not born out of her womb. The little boy felt insulted by the act of his stepmother, nor did his father make any protest, for he was too attached to his second wife. After this incident, Prince Dhruva went to his own mother and complained. His real mother also could not take any step against this insulting behavior, and so she wept. The boy inquired from his mother how he could sit on the royal throne of his father, and the poor queen replied that only the Lord could help him. The boy inquired where the Lord could be seen, and the queen replied that it is said that the Lord is sometimes seen by great sages in the dens of forest. The child prince decided to go into the forest to perform severe penance in order to achieve his objective. The Prince Dhruva performed a great stringent type of penance under the instructions of his spiritual master, Sri Narada Muni, who was specifically deputed for this purpose by the personality of Godhead. Prince Dhruva was initiated by Narada into chanting the hymn composed by 18 letters, namely Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. And Lord Vasudeva incarnated himself as Prishnigarbha, the personality of Godhead with 4 hands, and awarded the prince a specific planet above the 7 stars. Prince Dhruva, after achieving success in his undertakings, saw the Lord face to face, and he was satisfied that all his needs were fulfilled. The planet awarded to Prince Dhruva Maharaja is a fixed Vaikunta planet, installed in the material atmosphere by the will of the Supreme Lord Vasudeva. This planet, although within the material world, will not be annihilated at the time of devastation, but will remain fixed in this place. And because it is a Vaikunta planet, never to be annihilated, it is worshipped even by the dozens of the 7 stars situated below the Dhruva planet, as well as by the planets which are even above the Dhruva planet. Maharshi Bhrugu's planet is situated above the Dhruva planet. So the Lord incarnated himself as the Prishnigarbha just to satisfy a pure devotee of the Lord. And Prince Dhruva achieved this perfection simply by chanting the hymn mentioned above. After being initiated the another pure devotee, Narada. A serious personality can thus achieve the highest perfection of meeting the Lord and attain his objective simply by being guided by a pure devotee who automatically approaches by dint of one's serious determination to meet the Lord by all means. The description of Prince Dhruva's activities can be read in detail in the 4th canto of Srimad Srimad Bhagavatam. Hare Krishna.
In Satyuga, Uttapa and Prishni, they did a lot of tapasya. At the time Lord appeared as Prishni Garbha. So now here, when Lord appears, there is multiple reasons for it. Now here, Dhruva Maharaj is also blessed by Prishni Garbha. Here the incarnation, Prishni Garbha has been spoken. Yadvenam utpata gatam vijavakya vajra निष्क्लुष्ट पौरुषः भगं निरये पतन्तं प्रात्वाथितो जगति पुत्रपदं चलेभे दुग्धा वसूनि वसुधा सकलानि येन. Now King Vena, Ritu Maharaj incarnation is now spoken. How was King Vena? He went astray. Utpatagatam, all Utpat he was doing. So all the Dvijas, Dvijavakya, they cursed him. Vajra Nishpita, Nishplishta. In this way, through their curse, they burnt him actually. And in this way, he went to hell. All whatever small good deeds also he must have done, everything was burnt. Because he was doing so much of utpata. And Lord descended as Prithu. And in this way, he delivered the condemned king Vena from hell. And exploited the earth by drawing all kinds of crops as produce. So they burnt his good deeds. The body was actually churned. It is not the body was burnt. The body was churned. They killed him by that curse. So in this way he was going to hell. But Prithu Maharaj, he saved him. He saved him from the hell. He delivered him. So whether Prithu Maharaj is given. So one of you read, Kusum, read.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Text 9. Yet dinam utpata gatam dvija vakya vajra nishplusta paurusha bhagam niraye patantam tratvartito jagati putra padam chalebhe dugda vasuni vasudha sakalani ena. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Maharaja Vena went astray from the path of righteousness, and the Brahmanas chastised him by the thunderbolt curse. By this king, Vena was burnt with his good deeds and opulence and was en route to hell. The Lord, by his causeless mercy, descended as his son by the name of Prithu, delivered the condemned king Vena from hell, and exploited the earth by drawing all kinds of crops as produce. Purport. According to the system of Varnashrama Dharma, the pious and learned Brahmanas were the natural guardians of society. The Brahmanas, by their learned labor of love, would instruct the administrator kings how to rule the country in complete righteousness, and thus the process would go on as a perfect welfare state. The kings or the Kshatriya administrators would always consult the council of learned Brahmanas. They were never autocratic monarchs. The scriptures like Manu Samhita and other authorized books of the great sages were guiding principles for ruling the subjects, and there was no need for less intelligent persons to manufacture a code of law in the name of democracy. The less intelligent mass of people have very little knowledge of their own welfare, as a child has very little knowledge of his future well being. The experienced father guides the innocent child towards the path of progress, and the childlike mass of people need similar guidance. The standard welfare codes are already there in the Manu Samhita and other Vedic literatures. The learned Brahmanas would advise the king in terms of those standard books of knowledge and with reference to the particular situation of time and place. Such Brahmanas were not paid servants of the king, and therefore they had the strength to dictate to the king on the principles of scriptures. This system continued even up to the time of Maharaj Chandragupta, and the Brahmana Chanakya was his unpaid prime minister. Maharaja Vena did not adhere to this principle of ruling and he disobeyed the learned Brahmanas. The broad minded Brahmanas were not self interested but looked to the interest of complete welfare for all the subjects. They wanted to chastise King Vena for his misconduct and so prayed to the Almighty Lord as well as cursed the king. Long life, obedience, good reputation, righteousness, prospects of being promoted to higher planets, and blessings of great personalities are all vanquished simply by disobedience to a great soul. One should strictly try to follow in the footsteps of great souls. Maharaja Vena became a king undoubtedly due to his past deeds of righteousness, but because he willfully neglected the great souls, he was punished by the loss of all the above mentioned acquisitions. In the Vaman Purana, the history of Maharaja Vena and his degradation are fully described. When Maharaja Prithu heard about the hellish condition of his father, Vena, who was suffering from leprosy in the family of a Mnecha, he at once brought the former king of Kurukshetra for his purification and relieved him of all sufferings. Maharaja Prithu, the incarnation of God, descended by the prayer of the Brahmanas to rectify the disorders on earth. He produced all kinds of crops, but at the same time, he performed the duty of a son who delivers his father from hellish conditions. The word putra means one who delivers from hell called put. That is a worthy son. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
So it is duty of the son to deliver the father. That is given here. There also we have now Bhagyarathi also did the same thing. He called Ganga to deliver all his forefathers. So Putra, Put, Put means the one who delivers from hell. The word Putra means one who delivers from hell is known as Put. नाभिरसवा वृषभ आससु देवी सूनुयुर् सूनुर्यो वै चचार समुद्र जडयोगचर्यां यत्पारहंस्यं ऋषयः पदम् आमनन्ति स्वस्थः प्रशान्तः वर्णपरिमुख संगः. Now about Rishabdev. So Lord appeared as the son of Sudev, the wife of King Navi. Navi was known as Rishabdev. So he performed materialistic yoga to equibalance the mind. This stage is also accepted as the highest perfectional situation of liberation, wherein one is situated in oneself and is completely satisfied. Yogacharya means he performed yoga, but which yoga? Jada yoga. Now Lord himself, he has appeared. But he is showing that there are certain things which we can do for achieving the highest stage of perfection, that is Paramhamsya. So he is Swastaha, self-reposed. He is Prashantaha, peaceful. Karanaha Parimukaha, Prashantaka Karanaha. That means his material senses are peaceful. Parimukaha is perfectly liberated. Sangha, material contamination. So he is free from all the material contamination. He is situated in oneself. He is completely satisfied. He taught the materialistic yoga system. Okay. Jumla read.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Jali yoga. Okay, read.
नाभे रसा वृषभ आस सुदेवी सुनो यर्वे चचार समद्रग जड़योगचर्यां यत् पारमहंस्य ऋषयः Padmamanti Mananti Swastha Prashanta Karanah Parimukta Sangah. Translation: The Lord appeared as the son of Sudevi, the wife of King Nabhi, and was known as Rishabdev. He performed materialistic yoga to equibalance the mind. This stage is also accepted as the highest perfectional situation of liberation, wherein one is situated in one's self and is completely satisfied. Purport: out of many types of mystic performances for self realization, the process of Jada Yoga is also one accepted by authorities. This Jada Yoga involves practicing becoming like a dumb stone and not being affected by material reactions. Just as a stone is indifferent to all kinds of attacks and re-attacks of external situations, similarly, one practices Jada Yoga by tolerating voluntary infliction of pain upon the material body. Such yogis, out of many self infliction methods, practice plucking out the hairs on their heads without shaving and without any instrumental help. But the real purpose of such Jada Yoga practice is to get free from all material affection and to be completely situated in the self. At the last stage of his life, Emperor Rishabdev wandered like a dumb madman, unaffected by all kinds of bodily mistreatment. Seeing him like a madman, wandering naked with long hair and a long beard, less intelligent children and men in the street used to spit on him and urinate on his body. He used to lie in his own stool and never move, but the stool of his body was fragrant like the smell of fragrant flowers. And a
There are
saintly
people
person.
who think that, one minute, there are people who are thinking that they can imitate Rishabdev, Jain monks. They also try to do that, many of them. They try to go naked, Digambara Swamis. They'll go past stool here and there, but that fouls, fouls life. But here, one cannot copy what Lord does. Lord's stool is having fragrance. ठीक है, read.
But the stool of his body was fragrant like the smell of fragrant flowers, and a saintly person would recognize him as a Paramhansa, one in the highest state of human perfection. One who is not able to make his stool fragrant should not, however, imitate Emperor Rishabdev. The practice of Jada Yoga was possible for Rishabdev and others on the same level of perfection, but such an uncommon practice is impossible for an ordinary man. The real purpose of Jada Yoga, as mentioned here in this verse, is prasannata karanaha, or subduing the senses. The whole process of yoga, under whatever heading it may be, is to control the unbridled material senses and thus prepare oneself for self realization. In this age, specifically, this Jad Yoga cannot be of any practical value. But on the other hand, the practice of Bhakti Yoga is feasible because it is just suitable for this age. The simple method of hearing from the right source, Srimad Bhagavatam, will lead one to the highest perfectional stage of yoga. Rishabdev was the son of King Nabhi and the grandson of King Agnidhra, Agnidhra, and he was the father of King Bharat, after whose name this planet Earth was called Bharatvarsha. Rishabdev's mother was also known as Meru Devi, although her name is mentioned here as Sudevi. It is sometimes proposed that Sudevi was another wife of King Nabhi, but since King Rishabdev is mentioned elsewhere as the son of Meru Devi, it is clear that Meru Devi and Sudevi are the same person under different names. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Meru Devi and Su Devi are the same names. Okay, next. Satre mamas Bhagavan Hayashirapatho Saksha Sayagya Purushastapani Varnaha छन्दोमयो मखमयोऽखिल देवतात्मा वाचो बभूवुरुरुषति श्वसतोऽस्य नस्तः. So Lord appeared as Hayagriva, that is Hayashirsaha, horse-like head. Hayagriva, Sakshat, this appeared. Yajnaha Purushaha, he is personified sacrifices, Yajna Purusha. When he appeared, Satrehe, when Yajna was done for him by Brahma. Brahma says, when I did, Mama means I did this Yajna. To please Lord, Lord appeared. But he appeared in how? Ayashirasaha. And then he's a super soul of all the demigods that is given here. So in this way, yeah. Super soul of all demigods. That is not whatever translation you don't have that. Yeah, it is there. Devata Atmaha. Yes. In Devata Atmaha, he is the super soul of all demigods. When he breathed, all the sweet sounds of Vedic hymns came out of his nostrils. Shwastaha Asya Nashtaha, through the Nastaha. Nastaha means through his nostrils. What came out? Beautiful hymns, which are very, very pleasing to hear. In this way, this Vachaha Bahuha, it was becoming very audible. Through his breath, the Vedas emanated. Okay. Who will read? Who is there in iPhone? Narayana, read.
I will read.
Who is there in
Sorry.
iPhone? Who is there in iPhone? Is it Aneja Prabhu? Okay, the Adi Satviki Mataji must be there. Okay, read. Narayana, read.
सत्रे ममास भगवान् हयशीरशाथो साक्षात् स यज्ञपुरुषस्तपनीयवर्णः छन्दोमयो मखमयोऽखिलदेवतात्मा वाचो बभूवुरुषिति श्वसतोऽस्य नस्तः. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. To Prabhupada ki jai. Translation: the Lord appeared as the Hayagriva incarnation in a sacrifice performed by me, Brahma. He is the personified sacrifices, and the hue of his body is golden. He is the personified Vedas as well, and the super soul of all demigods. When he breathed, all the sweet sounds of the Vedic hymns came out of his nostrils. Purport: the Vedic hymns are generally meant for sacrifices performed by fruitive workers who also want to satisfy the demigods to achieve their fruitive results. But the Lord is the personified sacrifices and the personified Vedic hymns. Therefore, one who is directly a devotee of the Lord is a person who has automatically both served the purposes of sacrifices and pleased the demigods. The devotees of the Lord may not perform any sacrifice or may not please the demigods as per Vedic injunctions. And still, the devotees are on a higher level than the fruitive workers or the worshippers of different demigods. Jnananandamayam devam nirmala spatikakritim adharam sarva vidyanam hayagriva upasmehe. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Next. Masyo yugantamasye tasamaye manunopalabdaha shonimayo nikhila nikaya ketaha visramsitanu rubhaye salide mukhanme adaya tava vijahara haveda margan. So word to word. Matsya. So now incarnation of fish. When it happened, Yuganta, at the end of millennium. Samay at that time, Manuna, the would-be Vaivasvat Manu, Upalabdha, seeing Shonimayaha, up to the three planets, Nikhila all Jivatma. So Vaivasvat Manu could see everything. So this happened at the end of the millennium. Nikaya Ketaha, shelter called. Visram Sitan, emanating from Uru, great. Bhaya out of fear. Salila in the water. Mukhat from the mouth. May mine Adaya having taken two. Tatra there. Vijahara enjoyed. Certainly Veda Margan, all the Vedas. So at the end of millennium, the would be Vaivasvat Manu, that means the previous Manu. There it ended now. The millennium has ended. So the would be Vaivasvat Manu of the name Satyavata would see that the Lord in the fish incarnation is the shelter of all kinds of living entities up to those in the earthly planet. Because of any fear of the vast water at the end of the millennium, the Vedas come out of my mouth. That is Brahmaji speaking. And Lord enjoys those vast waters and protects the Vedas. So here it is said, in the day of Brahma, there are 14 Manus. At the end of each Manu, there is devastation up to the earthly planet. And the vast water is fearful even to Brahma. That is why in the previous millennium, this devastation started. Because it is the end of the devastation, and Lord protected the Manu. Vaivasvat Manu, his name is Satyavata. That means Manu is a position. This Vaivasvat Manu is a position, and the would be Vaivasvat Manu of the name Satyavrata. Okay? Adi Satviki Mataji, can you read?
Hare Krishna Mataji, yes, I can read.
Yes.
Hare Krishna. Shloka 12, text 12. Matsa Yuganta Samaye Manunapalabdha Shoni Maya Nikhila Jivanika Nikaya Ketaha Vishrangsitanurubhaye Salile Mukhan me Adaya Tatra Bijaharaha Vedamargan. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. At the end of the millennium, the would-be Vaivasvata Manu of the name Satyavrata would see that the Lord in the fish incarnation is the shelter of all kinds of living entities, up to those in the earthly planets. Because of my fear of the vast water at the end of the millennium, the Vedas come out of my Brahma's mouth. And the Lord enjoys those vast waters and protects the Vedas. Purport. During one day of Brahma, there are 14 Manus, and at the end of each Manu, there is devastation up to the earthly planets, and the vast water is fearful even to Brahma. So, in the beginning of the would-be Vaivasvata Manu, such devastation would be seen by him. There would be many other incidents also, such as the killing of the famous Sankhasura. The foretelling is by the past experience of Brahmaji, who knew that the fearful devastating scene, the Vedas would come out of his mouth, but the Lord, in his fish incarnation, not only would save all living entities, namely the demigods, animals, men, and great sages, but would also save the Vedas. Thank you, Mataji.
Very good. Next.
I'll-
You're able to hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Next. My grand, thank you, Mataji, for all your wishes. I could not express that day. Thank you very much. Next.
Oh, you're most welcome. Thank you.
What? I read your message. I think I did not answer.
Oh, that's fine. No problem.
Because it was very late and I really forgot. So I thought I will express my thankness now.
You
Okay,
are
my
most
dear.
welcome, Mataji. Most welcome.
Hare Krishna. Next, the Lord has appeared in the tortoise incarnation. Achua. This is Kurma Avatar. Kshirodava. Kshirodadhava Amara Danava Yuthapana Unmatthalatam Amrutalabhaya Adidevaha पृष्ठेन कच्छप कच्छप वपुर विदधार गोत्रम् निद्राक्षणोद्रिपरिवर्तकशान कंदुः क्षीरा in the milk udadhav in the milk ocean, the milky ocean. Amara dana danava yathapanam. Both of them, what they were doing, unmathanatam, they were churning amrita. They wanted to remove amrita, so they were churning the milky ocean. Labdhaya adidevaha pushtena. So now Lord, he held the whole Mandara mountain in his backbone, pushtena. So for that he assumed, Vidadhara means assumed the form of Kachapa, Vapuhu, the Kachapa body, Gotram, the Mandara hill, Nidrakshanaha. So in this the Lord partly slept, because what was happening, he was experiencing a wonderful scratching, Adri Parivartaha. Because when the hill was rotating, he was experiencing a nice scratching. Somebody scratches very nicely, then that itching, because it was itching for him, especially the back itches, the cold time back itches, and somebody scratches, there is a nice experience. So Lord was partially sleeping. Okay. Jumur can read. Jumur. Jumur is unable to read. Then Bimla read.
Mataji, I'll read for her.
Okay, read.
पढ़ने तुमको Mataji, she is reading. Mataji.
ठीक है.
हरे कृष्ण क्षीरोदधावमर दानवयूथपाना उन्मत्नताम् अमृतलब्धय आदिदेवः पृष्ठेन कच्छपवपुर्विदधार गोत्रम् नेत्राक्षणोद्रिपरिवर्तकशानकन्दुः. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The primeval Lord then assumed the tortoise incarnation in order to serve as a resting place pivot for the Mandara mountain, which was acting as a churning rod. The demigods and demons were churning the ocean of milk with the Mandara mountain in order to extract nectar. The mountain moved back and forth, scratching the back of Lord Tortoise, who, while partially sleeping, was experiencing an itching sensation. Although it is not in our experience, there is a many portion within this universe. Even the modern scientist accepts that there are hundreds and hundreds of thousands of planets hovering over our heads, and each of them has different kind of climatic conditions. Srimad Bhagavatam gives much information which may not tally with our present experience. But as far as Indian sages are concerned, knowledge is received from the Vedic literatures, and the authorities accept without any hesitation that we should look through the pages of authentic books of knowledge, Shastra Chakshurvat. So we cannot deny the existence of the ocean of milk as stated in the Srimad Bhagavatam unless and until we have experimentally seen all the planets hovering in space. Since such an experiment is not possible, naturally we have to accept the statement of Srimad Bhagavatam as it is because it is so accepted by spiritual leaders like Sridhar Swami, Jiva Goswami, Vishwanath Chakravarti, and others. The Vedic process is to follow in the footsteps of great authorities, and that is the only process for knowing that which is beyond our imagination. The primeval Lord, being all powerful, can do whatever he likes, and therefore he is assuming the incarnation of a tortoise or a fish for serving a particular purpose is not at all astonishing. Therefore, we should not have any hesitation whatsoever in accepting the statements of the authentic scriptures like Srimad Bhagavatam. The gigantic work of churning the milk ocean by the combined effort of the demigods and the demons required a gigantic resting ground or pivot for the gigantic Mandara hill. Thus, to help the attempt of the demigods, the primeval Lord assumed the incarnation of a gigantic tortoise swimming in the ocean of milk. At the same time, the mountain scratched his backbone as he was partially sleeping and thus relieved his itching sensation. Hare Krishna.
The Lord was actually enjoying. The itching sensation is there, and the mantra are rolling on his back. Repishta Orubhayah Sanarsimharupam Vitva Brahmada Brukuti Damshtakarala Bhakram Tetindramashu Gadayabi Patantam Arad Urau Nipatyavata Vidadara Nakai Sfurantam Raipishtaha. These demigods, they were very fearful because Urubhayaha, this Hiranyakashipu feared them. So to vanquish their harm means to vanquish. Urubhaya, the great fears which has appeared, Lord appears to vanquish that. He, the personality of God, how he came? Narsimha Rupam, the incarnation of Narsimha. And what he was doing? Brahmata was rolling his bhukuti and his eyebrows, Damshtakala Karala, with his great fearful mouth, having Damshtra, great fearful teeth also. Daitre Indram, he was fearing the king of demons. Ashu Gadaya, immediately appeared with the in the hand. Abhipatandam. So Lord appeared. He placed the demon Arata Urav on the thighs, Nipatyaha pleasing him. The Lord Vidadhara, he pierced him with his nails, and in this way, this person was challenging him. There is Hiranyakashipu was challenging the Lord, with a club in his hand. So that club in the hand is in the hands of Hiranyakashipu, not Lord. For Lord, why club is required? He says nails are enough. So in this way, he killed Hiranyakashipu with his nails. Okay. Kusum read.
Hare Krishna Mataji. त्रैपिस्तपोरुभयहासनसिंहरूपम् कृत्वा भ्रमद्रुक्कुटिधंस्त्रकरालवक्त्रम् दैत्येन्द्रमाशुगडयाभिपतन्तमारात् पूरौ निपात्य विदधारणकै स्फुरन्तम्. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The personality of Godhead assumed the incarnation of Narsimha Deva in order to vanquish the great fears of the demigods. He killed the king of the demons, Hiranyakashipu, who challenged the Lord with a club in his hand by placing the demon on his thighs and piercing him with his nails, rolling his eyebrows in anger, and showing his fearful teeth and mouth. Perfect. The history of Hiranyakashipu and his great devotee son Prahlad Maharaj is narrated in the seventh canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Hiranyakashipu became very powerful by material achievements and thought himself to be immortal by the grace of Brahmaji. Brahmaji declined to award him the benediction of immortality because he himself is not an immortal being. But Hiranyakashipu derived Brahmaji's benediction in a roundabout way, almost equal to becoming an immortal being. Hiranyakashipu was sure that he would not be killed by any man or demigod or by any kind of known weapon, nor would he die in day or night. The Lord, however, assumed the incarnation of half man and half lion, which was beyond the imagination of a materialistic demon like Hiranyakashipu, and thus, keeping pace with the benediction of Brahmaji, the Lord killed him. He killed him on his lap so that he was killed neither on the land, nor on the water, nor in the sky. The demon was pierced by Narasimha's nails, which were beyond the human weapons imaginable by Hiranyakashipu. The literal meaning of Hiranyakashipu is one who is after gold and soft bedding, the ultimate aim of all materialistic men. Such demonic men who had no relationship with God gradually became puffed up by material acquisitions and begin to challenge the authority of the Supreme Lord and torture those who are devotees of the Lord. Prahlad Maharaj happened to be the son of Hiranyakashipu, and because the boy was a great devotee, his father tortured him to the best of his ability. In this extreme situation, the Lord assumed the incarnation of Narasimhadev, and just to finish the enemy of the demigods, the Lord killed Hiranyakashipu in a manner beyond the demon's imagination. Materialistic plans of godless demons are always frustrated by the all-powerful Lord. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Next, when Gajendra is calling Lord, that incarnation has been spoken. So with the last verse now. अन्तःसरस्युरुबलेन पदे गृहीतो ग्राहेण यूतपतिरम्बुजहस्त आर्तः आहेदमादिपुरुषाखिललोकनाथ तीर्थश्रवः श्रवणमङ्गल नामधेयः. Namadheya. So his name is worth chanting. Why? Shravanamangala. Whoever hears, that is good for him. Hearing and chanting. So wherever Lord's name is chanted, that is Tirtha Shravaha. That becomes Tirtha. And is also known as Tirtha Shravaha. So Antaha Sarasi, within the water. Urubalena. This Graha had a lot of strength. Ruhitaha, because he has taken shelter there. This crocodile. But what happened? Yuthapati, the leader of the elephant, Ambuja Hasta, with a lotus hand in the flower in the hand, he aggrieved, he called, he was in difficulty. He called Lord. This crocodile was having a lot of strength. So the environment in which we are, it is not of this environment is not ours. When the environment is not ours, there our strength will go. Like elephants, environment is not water. That is why when it entered the water, it was caught by the Graha. Graha's strength was increasing, but not elephant strength. This Gajendra, he took the flower and he called Lord. Lord appears. That is one of the scheduled incarnation. Narayana, read.
Yes, Mataji. अन्तःसरस्युरुबलेन पदे गृहीतो ग्राहेण यूथपतिरम्बुज हस्त आर्तः आहेदमादिपुरुषाखिललोकनाथ तीर्थश्रवश्रवणमङ्गलनामधेय. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation: the leader of the elephants, whose leg was attacked in a river by a crocodile of superior strength, was much aggrieved. Taking a lotus flower in his trunk, he addressed the Lord, saying, O original enjoyer, Lord of the universe, O deliverer, as famous as a place of pilgrimage, All are purified simply by hearing your holy name, which is worthy to be chanted. Purport. The history of delivering the leader of the elephants, whose leg was attacked in the river by the superior strength of a crocodile, is described in the 8th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Since the Lord is absolute knowledge, there is no difference between his holy name and the personality of Godhead. The leader of the elephants was much distressed when he was attacked by the crocodile. Although the elephant is always stronger than the crocodile, the latter is stronger than the elephant when it is in the water. And because the elephant was a great devotee of the Lord in his previous birth, he was able to chant the holy name of the Lord by the dint of his past good deeds. Every living entity is always distressed in this material world because this place is such that every step one has to meet with some kind of distress. But one who is supported by his by his past good deeds, engages himself in the devotional service of the Lord as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 7.16. Thus, those who are supported by impious acts cannot be engaged in the devotional service of the Lord, even though they are distressed. This is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 7.15. The personality of Godhead Hari appeared at once on the back of his eternal bearer Garuda and delivered the elephant. The elephant was conscious of his relationship with the Lord. He addressed the Lord as Adi Purusha, or the original enjoyer. Both the Lord and the living beings are conscious and are therefore enjoyers. But the Lord is the original enjoyer because he is the creator of everything. In the family, both the father and his sons are undoubtedly enjoyers, but the father is the original enjoyer and the sons are the subsequent enjoyers. A pure devotee knows well that everything in the universe is the property of the Lord and that a living entity can enjoy a thing as ordained by the Lord. A living being cannot even touch a thing which is not allotted to him. This idea of the original enjoyer is explained very nicely in Ishopanishad. One who knows this difference between the Lord and himself never accepts anything without first offering it to the Lord. The elephant addressed the Lord as Akhila Lokanatha, or Lord of the universe, who is therefore the Lord of the elephant also. The elephant, being a pure devotee of the Lord, specifically deserved to be saved from the attack of the crocodile, and because it is a promise of the Lord that his devotee will never be vanquished, it was quite befitting that the elephant called upon the Lord to protect him. And the merciful Lord also at once responded. The Lord is the protector of everyone, but he is the first protector of one who acknowledges the superiority of the Lord instead of being so falsely proud as to deny the superiority of the Lord or to claim to be equal to him. He is ever superior. A pure devotee of the Lord knows this difference between the Lord and himself. Therefore, a pure devotee is given first preference because of his full dependence, whereas the person who denies the existence of the Lord and declares himself the Lord is called Asura, and as such, he is given protection by the strength of limited power subject to the sanction of the Lord. Since the Lord is superior to everyone, his perfection is also superior. No one can imagine it. The elephant addressed the Lord as Tirtha Shrava, or as famous as the place of pilgrimage. People go to the places of pilgrimage in order to be delivered from the reactions of unknown sinful acts. But one can be freed from all sinful reactions simply by remembering his holy name. The Lord is therefore as good as the holy places of pilgrimage. One can be free from all sinful reactions after reaching a place of pilgrimage, but one can have the same benefit at home or at any place simply by chanting the holy name of the Lord. For a pure devotee, there is no need to go to the holy place of pilgrimage. He can be delivered from all sinful acts simply by remembering the Lord in earnestness. A pure devotee of the Lord never commits any sinful acts. But because the whole world is full of sinful atmosphere, even a pure devotee may commit a sin unconsciously as a matter of course. One who commits sinful acts consciously cannot be worthy of being a devotee of the Lord, but a pure devotee who unconsciously does something sinful is certainly delivered by the Lord, because a pure devotee remembers the Lord always. The Lord's holy name is called Shravana Mangala. This means that one receives everything auspicious simply by hearing the holy name. In another place in Srimad Bhagavatam, his holy name is described as Punya Shravana Kirtana. It is a pious act simply to chant and hear all about the Lord. The Lord descends to this earth and acts like others in connection with the activities of the world just to create subject matters for hearing about him. Otherwise, the Lord has nothing to do with this, nothing to do in this world, nor has he any obligation to do anything. He comes out of his own causeless mercy and acts as he desires. The Vedas and Puranas are full of descriptions of his different activities so that people in general may naturally be eager to hear and read something about his activities. Generally, however, the modern fictions and novels of the world occupy a greater part of the people's valuable time. Such literatures cannot do good to anyone. On the contrary, they agitate the young mind unnecessarily and increase the modes of passion and ignorance, leading to increasing bondage to the material conditions. The same aptitude for hearing and reading is better utilized in hearing and reading of the Lord's activities. This will give one all round benefit. It is concluded, therefore, that the holy name of the Lord and topics in relation with him are always worth hearing, and therefore he is called here in this verse Namadheya, or one whose holy name is worth chanting. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Okay, one call had come, so I have to attend. So it's concluded, therefore, that the holy name of the Lord and topics in relation with him are always worth hearing. Savana Mangalam, Srimadadakam, Bhuvi Grantete, Bhurida Janaha. So Bhurida Janaha, what they do? They go on discussing the topic of Lord. That is Namadheya is worth chanting. So in one place it is said Graha was delivered first because he caught hold of a devotee's feet. So before Gajendra was delivered, this Graha was delivered first. So we'll stop here. It is 16th verse. Next week onwards. It's the same. Let us take the 16th one because in 1 minute. So Lord came after elephant's plea. So we'll do this also verse. Shutva haris tamarana प्रमेय चक्रायुध पतगराजभुजाधिरूढ चक्रेण नक्रवदनं विनिपात्य तस्मात् धस्ते प्रगृह्य भगवान् कृपयोच्चाहारः. So Lord immediately appeared. So the love of Gajendra is it's not in the because he's Arthena. He's in difficulty, that is why he is calling. It is not Vishuddha Prema. It is mixed. It is Mishrit Bhakta. He is a Mishrit Bhakta. So after hearing the Arana Arthinam, was he's calling for the help. Prameya, unlimitedly powerful Lord, he took the weave in the hand. Ayudaha, he kept Pataga Raja, the king of the birds, that is Garuda, he sat on it. Bhuja Adhirudaha. In this way he sat, being seated on the wings of Garuda. Chakrena Badavil, Chakra Nakra Vadanam, the mouth of the crocodile. He cut. Vinipatya means he cut. Tasmat, from the mouth of the crocodile. Haste, in the hands, Prabhuha, taking hold of the trunk. Bhagavan Kripayaha, out of costless mercy, delivered the elephant. He actually delivered even the crocodile also. He cut to pieces the mouth of the crocodile to save the elephant. Okay. So Narayana, you only continue this. Narayana continue.
Mataji. श्रुत्वा हरिस्तमरणार्थिन प्रे श्रुत्वा हरिस्थमरणार्थिनमप्रेम श्रुत्वा हरिस्थमरणार्थिनमप्रमेय चक्रायुधपथगराजभुजाधिरूढः चक्रेण नक्रवदनं विनिपाट्य तस्मात् धस्ते प्रगृह्य भगवान् कृपयोज्जहार. Translation and purport with Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. The personality of Godhead, after hearing the elephant's plea, felt that the elephant needed his immediate help, for he was in great distress. Thus at once the Lord appeared there on the wings of the king of the birds Garuda, fully equipped with his weapon, the wheel, Chakra. With the wheel, he cut to pieces the mouth of the crocodile to save the elephant, and he delivered the elephant by lifting him by his trunk. Purport. The Lord resides in Vaikuntha planet. No one can estimate how far this planet is situated. It is said, however, that one trying to reach that planet by airships or by mind ships traveling for millions of years will find it still unknown. Modern scientists have invented airships which are material, and yogis make a still finer material attempt to travel by mind ships. The yogis can reach any distant place very quickly with the help of mind ships. But neither the airship nor the mind ship has the access to kingdom of God in the Vaikuntha Loka, situated far beyond the material sky. Since this is the situation, how was it possible for the prayers of the elephant to be heard from such an unlimitedly distant place? And how could the Lord at once appear on the spot? These things cannot be calculated by human imagination. All this was possible by the unlimited power of the Lord, and therefore the Lord is described here as a prameya, for not even the best human brain can estimate his powers and potencies by mathematical calculation. The Lord can hear from such a distant place, he can eat from there, and he can appear simultaneously in all places at a moment's notice. Such is the omnipotency of the Lord. Hare Krishna.
So we are stopping here. Vaishnavi